Alright, according to this, I am live, but I'm running late, so so bear with me while I slowly get my shit together. We'll see if this winds up being a stream that gets posted to the Monsters and Memories YouTube channel or not, or if I just wind up spending too much time getting my stuff together, and thus wind up just sort of scrubbing it from the VOD list. But yeah, I'll be slowly getting it together. What's up, Nicodemus? What was I doing? Okay, so I have the screen blacked out so that as I open up various web pages. Oh, okay, that one's on the main screen. You guys don't need to see that. Wait, I'm assuming you didn't just see that. Let me get Streamlabs in frame. That one's there, that one's there, that one's there. Everything's good. All right. I can reactivate my screen. How are you doing this morning? What time is it for you there? I'm 10, 12 minutes late. What I think I'm going to do is while I'm thinking about it even, I'm going to open up the scheduler thing, the extension. I'm going to update that to be 3 o'clock. I think basically it's 2:12 now. I think 3 o'clock is going to work better. Came in hot earlier from the garden. I got to the garden about 10 a.m. this morning, and it's been a while since I really had a decent soak the clothes through kind of sweat going on. And I gotta say, it's not the hottest here in Germany, but we had okay humidity. It's warm for us, right? It's warm for the usual. And I was able to get out there and till a couple of the areas and spread some compost, and man, I was so... Frank Beans, good morning. Is this the Amaranth channel? Yes, you're in the right place. As you can see, MMO Pug, hello. Keith, hello. Pattis, hello. Garden Shawn, Gardenum. What's the difference? We do have a Gardenum there too that they left. All right, so it's 8 a.m. on the East Coast. All right, so I think I'll start at 9 a.m. on the East Coast in the future. Let me get that set up. My extensions. All right, that's over here. Let's hold on a second. Duplicate this tab up here. Hit pause there. Go to our channel. And then go to playlist. 708 subscribers on Monsters and Memories. Good job, guys. Hit play all. Unmute things. Hit repeat on the playlist. Then listen to some good music while I continue to get things going. Dargoth, all streams will be early streams from this point. I mean, you know, there's always exceptions, but I'm going to start streaming at 9 a.m. Eastern after today. Adric, enjoy the dog walk. I know what that's like. My dog figured out how to escape from the garden today. Fortunately, he encountered another dog whose owners were kind enough to bring him back towards our garden. That would have been scary. Alright, so let's update this panel. We'll change it from 1400 my time to 1500 from now on. And then what I'll also try to do is some of these days, since it works out so well with Jasmine's schedule, I'll try to sneak in some additional streams. Lower the music volume a little bit in my headphones as well. Hey, Dantron. Started up on TagP EverQuest server. Still getting used to it, but it's a nice setup to have over there. Yeah, Secrets has a new server as coming up as well. I need to follow up with Secrets on Discord, but I read that while I was at the garden, so I wasn't necessarily doing much more than like sending little emojis in response. Let me see, catch up on Discord real quick. All right. New day, new stream time. Yes. Cool. So let me grab latest. Today is Tuesday. Man, we had a busy weekend. I thought I'd be a lot more sore after all of the work in the garden, but it's not so bad. I may have to crop this VOD before I post it. We're 6 minutes in and I haven't done anything productive. Did we get the garden all planted? No, but I did get the soil tilled up a bit and more usable, aerated a little bit, and put in some compost. Mix that in. I want to do a double dig method where you dig it up in like 1 foot sort of rows. You dump the first 1 foot row into a tarp or wheelbarrow or whatever, and then put in a little compost. You dig the next 1 foot row and you flop it over into the first one, a little bit of compost, and you do that all the way across, and then on the last row you dump your first row back in, and then you can put a little compost on top and mix that in, then you're good to go. Maybe I'll do that for the third one. Did the first bigger area, did the second plot. Jasmine got the tomato bin cleaned up. Nick, what is up with 24 months? That's 2 years, I think. Holy goodness. But yeah, so good morning, Demon Injected. I was actually shocked that I wasn't sore on Sunday after Monday's work. We weeded this the center strip. If you've seen the pictures on my Discord, we weeded the whole center strip, pulled out a lot of old crazy metal and stuff from shit that used to be in there, and then mulched that. So yeah, monsters and gardening. Plants versus monsters. Okay, so Darga said my body is complaining from all my weekend work still. We're restoring our concrete front porch. Lots of demolition and grinding and sanding. Yeah, it's like I said, I was a little sore this morning, but I was happy that it wasn't worse. Let me get Unity cranked up. I did not have it cranked up, but that's also probably why I haven't had to restart my machine. Mandrakes and Memories, Extreme Gardening Edition. That will be the mobile game that we make that will wind up making us all the money. So I have. Oh, Nick has you beat. Nick is a very competitive guy, so good luck beating him. You'll probably always be 1 month behind Nick. Dude, I don't have my hat on. My normal hat I don't have because it's so disgusting. It's It's pretty gross. Chrono Zero, thank you for 6 months. Thank all of you for the subs and stuff. That's it's not necessary, but it's very kind of you, and definitely appreciate it. Appreciate all of you tuning in and getting the good word out and all of that stuff. Monsters and gardening is all fun and games until you find out you accidentally grew Marlboros. It's funny you say that. I've actually got tobacco seed sprouting on my windowsill this very moment. My great grandfather was a tobacco farmer in Ohio. End SE2, thank you for the sub. Yeah, it was interesting. Looking at the follows and stuff over the weekend, over the last like 5 days. There's many of you, including you in SE2. 4 days ago followed. Thank you. Let me look at some of these names though. Some of the names are fantastic. Glitz and Shiggles is good. See Grimlock in there, but was that? Yeah, I think that was afterwards. Just heard about this. Love the project. Thank you. Did my grandfather have a mail pouch barn? I don't know what kind of barn it was officially called, but he had a big ass barn full of tobacco hanging. Big one. Or maybe even two. He also had an outhouse. That was my first experience with an outhouse as a kid. He had a big old like sprawling house that I swear he made himself because not a damn bit of the house made sense. And it was just kind of wood. Pre-hike stream? Yeah, it's our new time, Isan. And thank you for 15 months. I saw that 4 days ago. I wasn't streaming 4 days ago, was I? I can't do the math anymore. So there's a brand of chewing tobacco called Mail Pouch, and they advertised on Barnes in Ohio. Oh, okay. Did it offline. That's what I thought, dude. Who else do we have here that with an interesting name over the weekend? Viagra Smurfin. Alright. Because Smurfs are blue and Viagra is also blue. Curious Coal Mine also followed over the weekend. Oh man. Awesome. Alright. So I got to catch up. I got to admit, this new garden thing, the initial investment of effort is definitely, it's taken its toll. So I have not been around as much as I should be the last few days, so I need to get my shit ramped up and in gear. Ooh, like I haven't seen this building. Better watch tobacco seeding. It doesn't learn the bad breath ability, or just stock up on some remedies. What does that mean, Pattis? Better watch the tobacco seeding doesn't learn the bad breath ability, or just stock up on some remedies. I saw in Slack that Pattis has been busy, and I have not catched up on the videos, the other VODs. Oh, the Malaboro from Final Fantasy? Okay. Sorry. Bad early morning jokes. Well, I mean, you should never apologize for jokes that I don't get because it's almost always guaranteed to be my fault. Hey, Pattis. I haven't, I'm not in here where the day-night cycle's playing, but with our temples. I like the shadows and stuff you got going here. If there was some way to make it more maybe open in a way where if we're gonna have like statues and stuff, if there's room for the statue to be forward more, And we don't have to have all the statues sort of, or all the temples facing in the same way. But imagine if we're able to do something where the design of the temples allow more light to come in, and then play with this is kind of a feature. So just maybe something to keep in mind. Looking good. They could probably afford to be a bit bigger, some of them as well, but yeah. And again, not everything's got to have a bunch of open air and shit so that light comes in. It's just the first thing that came to mind. Yeah, and windows are not something we mess with, but windows that allow, like actual windows with panes. I wonder how they work. Oh, pipe organ and dungeon. Oh, nice. Pat said, I'm also planning on placing one of them into the garrison fortifications now, too. Oh, and that was, I want to play with the light rays, hitting statue through some windows full. Cool. Cool. Oh, nice. One of these is in here. Yeah, I was curious about the use of these, right? Because to me, I was like, if we can wind up reusing them, then that might help us a little bit in the market, unless you just wanted to do entirely new stuff. Excited for the market to come together and to continue to sort of fill in the negative space. The new image concept that that Goblin fired off yesterday, looking really sharp as well. Has he already shown that? Did he show that on his stream? Anybody? Do you know? Sorry, I was just checking up on Discord because I was pinged. Someone pinged me on Discord. So, and I've read it. Moving on. Nick said that concept is fire. Rev Chumley said, I saw Goblin working on the Jackal model, but wasn't there for the whole stream. I'm going to show it. I don't think it's out of line. Goblin knows when he posts stuff that it's going to get shared. Because we were just talking about a little bit about the feel of Night Harbor. So it's kind of nice seeing sort of a distant shot and having that inform some of our conversation about direction and it's funny. I saw the doohickeys sticking up, and then it took me like a day. I was trying to figure out what the hell are they called. What are the stabby things that they're called doohickeys? Yeah, they were called doohickeys for like 2 days, and then I remembered they are minarets. Minarets? They could be called spires as well. Yes, it's true. But I was thinking of minarets in particular. Minaret. Minarets. Minarets of Cairo. That's pretty dope. Imagine that's your neighborhood. Got some awesome ancient architecture. All right. Could be a buttress in functional architecture. Also true. You just have to have a little thingy going over to it. The doohickey would have a thingy. Lots of stairs though. Feel sorry for the guards. Oh yeah, the back in the day guards. These days you could just zoom a drone up there, right? Okay, so you were also saying pipe organ added to Wormsbane Tomb. Don't save. Guess it just zooms through a wall. Sorry, I'm being quiet. I'm thinking. That's the ossuary. I was just gonna zoom through here real quick, but it may actually be a lot easier just to run around it in game. All right, here we go. Yeah, that makes sense that it would be in the chapel, huh? Torches will be essential items. Yes, correct. And here shortly, it sounds like we may be working on having torches have a duration. That's pretty. So it's gonna look even better. It's gonna look even better in game. Let's just hop in game and run over to it. But yeah, so good morning, everybody. I like the new time slot. It will be 1 hour later moving forward, though. It'll be 9 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully that's not too late for the people on the East Coast, but a little bit better for the people on the West Coast. And it'll allow me to have a little bit more buffer time in the afternoon before having to be in. We'll see if that works. If not, then I'll go back to 8 a.m. Eastern. But it'll be a morning stream from now on either way. And you guys feel free to let me know what works for you, what doesn't. We do accept feedback here, despite how it may seem on Discord from time to time. I swear I don't bite. Biting costs extra. Oh, no, never. Boy, I am up there. There's Nick. That was the most vicious I've seen you. Well, it was while I was having my first coffee of the morning, so I apologize if I surprised or scared anybody. Oh, right on, Dantron. Let me scroll up. I feel like I missed a couple things, but there's something in particular that I wanted to respond to. I made a note and then... Damn it. Let me see. Let me see. Still scrolling. Oh, wow. Scrolling down. Alright, it's gone. It's missed it. Alright, so apologies. If anybody's waiting on a response to anything. Oh my god, let me fix that. Hey Nick, I was gonna invuln and... I was going to aggro off and go look around, so let me do that. Aggro. Need a gnomish bullseye lantern. Are you thinking my torch isn't gonna do it? I think it'll be fine. Harrison, did you add more nooks and bumps? Not nooks, but bumps. Bumps and crags? Like the little rooms? Helpful. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about these things? I feel like they add a bunch. Looking around at spawns. Those of you just listening in, maybe you've already seen it, maybe not. Try to mute that sneeze. Hopefully that worked. We've added some where there were just some nooks and stuff in the past. Harrison's gone ahead and added more rooms. I think Nick had mentioned in Slack having more... Oh, nice. Some scaffolding and stuff. Having more little like unrest style side rooms instead of just having pockets and nooks. Datum said, I'll tell you that the correct use of lighting in D&D changes the entire experience. Yeah, I mean, it sucks if you don't have torches. Plump Bratwurst, Rev Chumley, and Nicodemus are all fans of the new Geo and the floor and stuff of the dungeon. Yeah, it's coming together. Which one of these skeletons is lighting the wall torches? Do we need to put one in just so that we don't break anybody's immersion? A skeletal torch lighter. Maybe we should allow players to do that. Yeah. Quartermaster Boothroyd is the one that I wonder how expensive that'd wind up being, Nick. Like, I wonder how many torch nodes we'd basically be tracking on the server. Yeah, the torch is pretty, it's a little big on me. No, I mean, like if, because what I thought you meant was like if these were off, but players could light them. I was like, we put a lot of torches in. I still do like the idea of players being able to drop torches or make little campfires and stuff. We've got to talk about that some more. So a little combo of lightable torch areas, player drop torches, player carried light sources. Oh hey, a banner. That's nice. And Nick was like, oh wow. Did you not see that before? Oh, we've got to do the flat collider thing. I think we've got to do the flat collider thing. Looking around now. Oh, don't want to go down there. I'm supposed to be following Nick. Need to get the Wormsbane heraldry figured out for the banners and the statue. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Ham will have some input. Oh, look at that. It's so bright in here. It's funny, the organ's playing as we're in the chapel. It's so bright in my room because of the various lights to make the green screen actually disappear. Sometimes it's a little hard for me to see my screen. I kind of feel like we could pump the light value up a little bit on that backlighting. Let me see something really quick. Statue is less divine looking now? Yeah. Just a little bit maybe, and part of it probably is just my screen though, right? Because like I said, I've got so much light coming in right now, bouncing off my screen. And I'm also sitting, I'm still sitting at a weird angle. But maybe just pump it up a little bit so that there's a clear silhouette. Would be tight, Areno. Maybe a little less? Yeah. I'm not an artist, so we can play with it. I'll leave that to the pros. I'm just a giver of suggestions. Maybe have it give it a little warble. We have a script. The script that we have on the torches is easier to is easy to sort of copy over, and if you want to do some cheesy pulsation or something. So anyway, have fun with the feedback. Make it chunkier, less shiny, please. Secrets, what's going on? Hey, I saw your message and I felt bad because I was taking a break to like get the sweat off of me and try to consume some water while I was plowing away at the garden. And I saw your message and I just gave a little like a emoji response in Discord and didn't have a chance to respond back yet. But I was thumbing through and looking at the breakdown for it. Sounds cool. We'll definitely be talking about it and keeping an eye on what you're doing there and getting everybody over there. Your Discord it's already got like 1 million people. Good for you. I'm not saying I'm a little jelly, but you know, a little bit. It's come together nicely, man. I think one of the beauties of doing chunkier art is, and this is by no means meant to diminish the effort that you're putting into stuff, but really it should be able to come together a lot quicker than other stuff, right? Like, I know games where, you know, one point of interest will take an artist 3 weeks of work. All right, I'm doing a bad job of following Nick, as usual. I don't know. I think we'll say team effort plus Ollie's implementation. And all the skeletons in here, all of the placement was done in here by Nick, so ultimately you can give props to Nick for these guys. We have the ability to drive the color of these eyes in data, which is nice. So yeah, no, it's come together. I don't know if you've seen any of the recent playtest secrets, but the the pieces, the lighting, all that stuff has come together pretty nicely. Well, these guys have red eyes. See what I mean? Red dot scope eyes? Because they're archers. Nice. Oh, I can't wait till we get the spectral and the sort of zombie skins going. That'll be nice. Very exciting. I love, so there's something about these color combinations that every time I see them I get so happy because it's the base texture. Here, let me maximize this so it's easier to see. It's the base texture, but then you've got these orange and you got the purple and stuff. It just makes me happy because it feels kind of cartoony. But not in too much of a hyper stylized sort of silly way. And again here, feeling it. Any jack-o'-lanterns? Not yet. Well, you gotta give us time, Secrets. You gotta give us at least a couple more months. We continue to plow through our list of NPCs. The Plumpbratwurst said, one thing that always stuck out to me about EQ1 spell effects is how you can cast and move, and your effects stay put rather than sticking to you. Something about that makes it look more tangible. Yeah, so these spell effects that we have, I would like to actually convert over to doing that for some of them. Maybe not all of them, but for some of them. And I think it's, right now, they're character relative instead of world relative or something like that, so I need to look into that and maybe update these. Plans to do scaling on particles? Yeah. As you level up, you get, you get more vibrant and variety, and it's just bigger. Plus all of these are done with like the base kind of like placeholder sprite that came with Unity. So the here, watch this. So like these on my hand, I would like for them to be world relative. But it's all just the same sprite, with the exception of that weird one that comes up right there. I think I tried to make a rock sprite, and as you can tell, that's me being both not an artist and also not a particle effects guy. Nick recolored one of the ones that we had with this red, and it looks really sharp. But I mean, it's amazing how much just a little bit of oops. Oh, he died. It's amazing how much just a little bit of, you know, some dots and some, you know, I mean literal dots, not damage over time. But just some, we need to move that attach point. I don't know why it's hitting his feet. But like this one, I think this one's really pretty. Just mesmerize. Looks better from the front. Let me do that again. But honestly, it's just some like hacky ass placeholder spell effects that are just the same dots all over the place with different colors. And so I think as we really get into it, it's going to, as we get into really focusing on it and maybe having the tech guys and the artist guys really look at improvements on how they're, you know what I mean? Like, but to me, the thing that's important is having them not be these crazy over the top things. You don't got any more of them effects. It's funny. Right as you said that, my arm started itching. But yeah, it doesn't. I think I'd rather have subtle things like that, and then we've got the animation here that kicks in that lets you know he's kind of down. But like these big, like super anime style effects, they're good in specific games. Don't get me wrong. I just think for the overall package that we're putting together here, this style will be best, and then we'll figure out how to scale the spell effects like throughout the spell lines and stuff. One problem with EQ was that once you were in a raid, you sort of had to turn off spell effects, or the area would just become covered in effect. Yeah, but again, that's a problem with scale. And it's one of those things where it's like, how do you design something that looks good in a context like this versus a context of like. Oh yeah, mobs. The size of the mob as well is a problem. Bards are kind of funny in here. Bunny was playing a bard, I think, the other night. And it's nice having that constant kind of disco strobe. Here, Nick is. So it's pulsing, and there are 3 of us. And then the effects have lighting themselves, right? So we go into somewhere where it's a little bit darker. Yeah, but we'll figure it out. We'll work on it. One thing I need to do is check the state of our zone lines, and I need to make an actual list. Also, I need to write a note to myself to get in Slack and talk about character, getting the character stuff finalized. Oh, my hands are sore. All this yard work. Ugh. The bar could essentially remove the need of a torch. Yeah. Unless you split off from the group, or the bard dies, or the bard's pulling and runs out of range, leaves you in the darkness. All right, we're running out. Cool. Don't know if you ever looked at Path of Exile, but they use a lot of different techniques to display a ton of effects at once, like different art attach points, groups of orbiters, interlocking rings, etc. I haven't looked at it in that context. But it never hurts to go back and look at something again. Please save. Quit says, I'm not saying it would be in line with design choices, but I'm kind of a fan of how much better a group gets in EQ with a good bard in the group. I don't think you're saying anything controversial there. I think it's okay. I use Notepad during the day to jot down notes. Maybe easier on the hands. That's a very fair point. My problem is I'm pretty inconsistent with shit like that. So I've also used Notepad to jot down notes, and then I forget to read them. I've got an entire desktop full of notes that I should probably go through sometime soon and consolidate. Note to self, consolidate all of my notepad notes. No, really. Read this will be the name of this note. Notepad++. I can't do it. I've reinstalled. I've reinstalled Notepad++ on this machine even after you guys busted my balls like for 2 days straight of me using Notepad, and I can't get into it as much. I can't do it as much. All right, so targeting. There are some changes made if you guys haven't seen it. Do you hate that it's better than Notepad in every single way? Probably. I mean, if I could somehow type in Crayola, I would. No, I understand, guys. I'm not lying to you. I'm pretty sure I have it. Notepad. I don't think I uninstalled it. All right. So, anyways, I'm following this damn beetle for the wrong reason. Here we go. So look, untargeted, targeted, auto attack. A little bit easier to read, no? Tab, attack. So before you folks get us in trouble with any companies by saying that this game is clearly just a ripoff of EverQuest, which it is not. We clearly ripped off this from WoW. Which we did not. Stealing from everyone is called research. I know, that's why I try to make those references whenever possible for in the future. They can go, how dare you say that you were inspired by... We weren't inspired by any one game. I read up on it. That's actually, it is potentially problematic legally. That's why I'm going to delete this VOD. Problematic legally to say that you're inspired by something. Because in theory, what you're doing is, if you say, like, if we were to post in marketing material, this game is inspired by X, then all of the marketing and brand development that went into X, in theory, gave us a leg up. I don't know that anybody would ever sue because of it, but... But according to internet lawyers, Bratwurst said, one thing WoW did super well out of the gates was very smooth player animations. Hard to pin down exactly what it was. I think it was just really good animations. Or much better than what we were used to at the time. Easton said, thus my decision to attend law school at 46 for my daughter's art career. Is that, are you being serious? Oh, this is horrific. Nice, Isan. Totally not Nick death looping. He went out to get a sandwich and came back 5 hours later. Petitioned to GM. Help me, I'm a corpse mushroom. Ethan said his daughter wants to go to art school. He can think of no better way to help that career than to become a lawyer. You know what? If I had a lawyer in the family, it probably would have saved us half of what we spent on the game so far. That's just freaking horrible. For those of you listening in and not watching, you should... I don't know. Nick should just take a screenshot and post it in Discord or something. Like, it's just this collection of corpses that are standing upright, thus making it, and they're all facing a different direction. So it's yeah, Nicodemus said it's kind of like a minaret, thus continuing the theme from earlier. Very well done. We've got to figure out how to make this into, like, what do you think it is though? All right, so what is this creature? Should it be a mushroom? Are there mushrooms that kind of mimic humans, like the old movie Mimic? Polymorph gone wrong, yeah. Oh man. The flesh lathe. Oh. Yes, I'm still listening, YouTube. Mushrooms that absorb player DNA if they touch it, and then it looks like their character, but just all mushroomy like this. Now Nick's sitting in it. Ew. Alright. Ooh. Oh man, could you imagine the arms kind of just like wobbling? Doing like a Conor McGregor wobble? Floppy arm mushrooms just kind of writhing. High Warlord of Chaz said, Necromancer Lord created the ultimate dancers out of corpses and made them dance for him in his palace. Disgusting. Disgusting. I thought for sure I'd be able to walk under that. This is where some of the travelers that are maybe not as into sunlight will go down and get some shade when the sun is up. Yeah, well, it's a traveling area that's next to the trading area, Datum. Datum datum. Datum said, personally, I think people rely too much on lawyers and CPAs. As a business owner, if you don't know what they're doing for you, it's easy to get ripped off. I think that's a very fair point. But there's also the opposite to be considered. I'm trying to think of who I was watching or reading that commented on this. And essentially what I was getting into is it's good for you to know what they're doing and participate in the process pretty actively, right? So you stay aware. But it's also very easy for small business owners to really get screwed to the point of it being fairly irreparable, right? So like if I piss off the IRS, it's a bit different than if Amazon pisses off the IRS, or even like my last company, which isn't a huge company, but still pulling in enough money each year to be able to drop tens of thousands in a response if necessary. And so it's the thing that I read or heard, but I think read was basically stay involved in the process, be aware of what they're doing, but use professionals, because the cost of paying for a professional to do something is the cost of paying for them to do something is a lot cheaper than paying to repair one of our screw ups if we do screw up. Datum said, sure, mostly the best way to save is to do the most entry-level stuff and hand it over to an expert. That's a huge bang for the buck. Yeah. So that's what we do. Maintain like all the P&L and basically everything that we feed into, at least for this year, everything that we fed into our tax folks is just maintained, by us. And then if they have a question or issue with something, then it's easy enough to fix. Ollie's done a lot of this in his professional life. I've probably had less direct hands-on with some of it because I've always had access to lawyers and finance people. But it's been easy enough to ramp up. Later on, though, we'll probably retain the services of a CPA that we found and talked to. And especially if we're like selling merch and stuff like that, I don't want to screw around and mess something up. Probably helpful to know something about law or be involved. It's like you're taking your car to shop. If you're mechanically inclined, you're less likely to get ripped off. Yeah, basically the same thing. Also depends if the business owner is also producing a lot of value for business personally. Maybe their time is better spent producing in those cases. That's also another fair point, Adam. Speaking of merch, where do we get one of these sweet M&M shirts? We're still, I've definitely been riding the fence about getting them out. Need to update some stuff in the shop. I was thinking one thing that might make it a little bit more palatable to release the merch would be to also, in each of the items descriptions, describe what the profit margin is on the item as well. And basically break all of that down so that if someone's buying something, they know exactly what they're getting into. So if there's anything we don't necessarily like about the item, but it's something we have to live with, then we'll put that in there. Like for me, all of the print on demand stuff, the printing is pretty thin, and you can see I've probably only washed this like a handful of times. But if I pull on it, you can kind of see the cracks in the print. that said, it looks kind of old school that way. It gives it an old school look. We'll be doing all white text as well. Like black shirts with white text that will look similar to the hats and stuff. Yeah. It's been one of those ones where it's kind of hard to pull the trigger for two reasons. One, it's the sort of overall quality and are we happy with it? Two, it's that, again, that perception of us asking for money for a product that doesn't exist yet. Still a little iffy. So those are things to consider. On the flip side, you guys have mentioned wanting. Oops, you've mentioned wanting the items. But we're just not in a rush to take your money. Personally, I'd rather give $5 to a project than buy a shirt. I'm guessing project gets more like 500% more of a contribution. I'd buy a cloth map over clothing, to be honest, but I know there's some issues. Yeah, it's actually even harder for us to get those made and going. So, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Not just trying to string you on with that, but I'd rather have you have to wait longer than you'd like to give us money than take your money and have something happen and then you guys be like, oh, damn it, tricked me again. Do we pay taxes as a company if your product hasn't been sold yet? While you're developing, are you sort of tax free? In a sense. Yeah, if we're not making any money and it's just basically all expenses, it definitely makes it a lot easier for the tax folks. Once we've got the new tree prefab settled, then I can come in and replace all these old placeholders. I've got to do some work in this zone to get it in compliance with Hamad's latest sort of map and suggestions. So, need to get off my ass and do that. And then, let's see what else. Need to... I need to add one more zone. There's one zone missing. Well, it's there, but it's not blocked out in any way, so I need to block that out. Now that Hamad's feeling a little bit better, I need to get on a call with him soon and basically just sit in the zone and chunk in a few things. I think that'll help things move along a lot better. I need to finish the sneak animation that Nick asked for. You would buy a t-shirt that says this M&M shirt is a work in progress and in no way reflects the final shirt product design. Okay. We might be able to do that. Please Save Quit says, if the art is available, I might stripe my fishing boat with a Monsters and Memories vinyl because it worked. We could probably get the art out. Some people have been pretty good about stealing it from the site and stuff already. Hey, Bunny. Good morning. Oof, it got warm in here. What temperature is it outside? That's definitely one difference between streaming during the day and at night. Let's update and see what temperature it is. 23. What does that translate into in American terms? It's not very hot. No, you did it backwards, bunny. So 73 degrees. So for us, like 80-degree temperature is warm. Which to me, being someone that lived in Austin for 9 years and used to go running during the day, it's pretty odd to realize that that's where I'm at now with regards to temperature. So tomorrow it's supposed to be 28 degrees and a bit rainy, so that'll be nice and humid. Thursday, partially sunny, some rain and thunderstorms in the evening, 28 degrees. Friday, rain. Saturday, rain. Sunday, overcast. Monday, rain, according to this. But the weather here is pretty unpredictable. It'll be 94 degrees and 80% humidity where you're at. Where are you at, Bratwurst? Nekintro said, love the new time slot. I can finally watch live from here in Japan. Oh, great. Nice. Yeah, it's I'm super happy that the time slot works for so many people. It's weird. I was just running through here, and for whatever reason, as I was running through here, it just sort of registered to me what this would look like with the actual... with the actual trees and the actual rocks and mountain pieces and all that stuff instead of this placeholder. Pretty exciting feeling. Are both tree types prefabs? No, I don't think these were prefabs. And I had asked, and I think I researched the memory savings between using individual objects and prefabs. Asked about it in Slack. But I don't remember where Harrison landed with regards to looking at Lego will be in touch about our tree models. Yeah. Kill a mob and little plastic bits pop out. So, but I'm thinking the new ones should be prefabs. Just because then we can update them more easily, etc. Alright, so that zone line worked. Let me zone back and see what happens. Three hours north of Dallas, since I know where that is. Okay, I can picture it. Well, I mean, I can roughly picture it on a map. Oklahoma City. Well, I mean, if you said Oklahoma City, I'd also not exactly know where that is, but... Pata said, yeah, I think it ends up being more efficient. We need to figure out the most efficient way to instance the tree since we aren't using the Unity terrain. But what doesn't matter? Like basically if we turn them into prefab. Oklahoma City. Nick says go Thunder, which is really weird. Because on the way back from the garden last night, there's a German family that were biking by and the kid. It was like mom, dad, and young kid, and the kid had an Oklahoma City Thunder T-shirt on. That's kind of deja vu. Glitch in the Matrix. But what does it mean? It is a small world. Anything good going on in Slack? I need to catch up. I feel bad. Basically, I came home running late because it's about a 30-minute walk. I can't wait to get the new bike. It's about a 30-minute walk from the garden, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get home. I completely stink. Need a shower. I need to eat, and then I need to hop on the stream. And while I was eating really quick, I was like, basically I got 15 minutes until I'm supposed to start the stream. There's no way this is gonna happen. That's why I was late. For a first release, rough estimate, would you say that you guys have passed the halfway mark? I wouldn't be comfortable saying that. But I would say that the time needed to go from the halfway mark to something that's a lot more playable is not even. So it's not, and I guess you could say that then that's not really halfway, but to me it's more about the difference between getting all of the foundational systems in place, all of the necessary tooling for the specific content that we want to have on sort of our initial playable, the decisions that need to be made in a couple of areas, and a certain amount of foundational lore. And so once those elements have kind of been resolved, it's a lot quicker to start hammering on content, which I think at the end of the day, you guys, while you do care, I don't want to say you don't care about foundational stuff, it should mostly be invisible to you. A lot of what you care about will be the work that is derived from having that stuff in place. But then the actual content creation can move pretty quickly. And then there's iteration on that content creation and polish. Esan, don't get sassy. I'm just kidding. You can be as sassy as you want. Are there streams for coding on this game? Fizby? No. Some of the coders have popped in the stream, and then Ollie has done, he was doing like a 6-part series for a game jam that he was working on. But I don't think all 6 of them got made. But one of the challenges with Ollie and streaming is he's got young children that are likely to be hopping in and out of frame a ton. What gets me is if companies do big reveals and they do them in the style of a presentation at a dev meeting. I mean, that's kind of the old way of doing things. Please Safe Quit said, yeah, it's sort of why I was curious, because it seemed like there are a lot of the invisible stuff is coming along nicely. It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was thinking about this earlier while gardening, because I was just thinking about like the my Discord post earlier today. And it's one of those things where it's like, without a doubt, we'll run into a certain amount of like, what's taking so long on whatever? And this is even more immediately than, you know, sometime in the future. And the thing is, I mean, the honest answer is we've moved pretty quickly on this so far in the last year and a half. September will be 2 years. Could we have moved faster? Absolutely. Could we have gotten a lot more done? Probably. But we haven't. And so, is what it is. If anybody is unhappy about that ever, then that's understandable and kind of on them, though. The Nick Intro said, what can you tell me about the way which the game economy will work? Will there be regional prices? How about your approach to dealing with mudflation? And let me answer Keith really quick. Isn't Nick doing programming streams? Nick is mainly, I would assume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, doing design and QA stuff. He might have been in. I know he's tinkered in the code or tinkers in the code. So it's possible you saw that, but I'll let him answer. All right, so Nikintros, with regards to but a lot of our content creation is in a just relational DB, so it may look a bit like, it may look more technical than it is. The working backwards, how are we going to deal, what's our approach with dealing with mudflation? We don't have any sort of a silver bullet yet. One thing that we're going to do, or one thing that we're attempting, is looking at the pace of progression, keeping that relatively slow. We've built in a ton of headroom, so the sort of inevitable mudflation that will occur hopefully is less impactful with time than if we were doing something that had a more accelerated progression pace. We've even compressed stats. So if you look here, we started with sort of a standard roughly 80 point allocation, you know, give or take 20 points or something like that on the stats. We decided to compress that. We compressed it down to like a 10, and so it's like 1 to 10. Then after some discussion, like one of my concerns with doing 1 to 10 was then all of a sudden a +1 is like a 10% increase instead of potentially, if we're doing, you know, I think max 20 at the moment, 5% increase in power. So it gives us slightly more granularity on scaling those items, but I think we're still going to be having some conversations about what it looks like to get those items and what the item distribution looks like. We're pretty okay with twinking and things of that nature, right? Like, it's kind of fun to be able to see some of that mudflation in action, some of the trickle-down effect of, you know, passing on those items. One thing that I really want to try, and this will be something that we've got to discuss as a team. Ali is an actual economist. I mean, that's his background before he became super farmer. And so one of the things I want to try is also put in a hell of a lot more drains for items in different ways. And so things like tribute and various factioning to pull some of the items out of the game. Our trade skill system will involve a decent amount of deconstruction as well to pull some of the items out of the game. And yeah, so we'll be playing with some of that, but like the idea of having, like I said, the idea of having a silver bullet for ultimately for mudflation is kind of, in this type of game, I think it's beyond me, and we'll see what the team comes up with. So what we're going to try to do is instead just drain a lot and keep the pace of entry of those items into the economy pretty slow. In terms of regional prices, I don't believe so. We haven't discussed it. I haven't considered it. The craziest thing we may do is regional or banks being specific to a location, but no thoughts or plans on regional prices at the moment. I just watched something, I think you guys posted it or Nick posted it, somebody posted it. Some video that was talking about the joys of there being regional prices and then transporting goods from place to place in order to, you know, basically turn a profit. But in order for us to have something like that and have it not be just completely batshit broken, we'd also have to really have nailed the restrictions on how you transport things, and made that something where all of a sudden it made sense because the amount of effort of transporting something over to a different region in order to get the, you know, sort of that optimal price or get that profit then was fair because you put in the effort. Now we may say that there's a lot more regional items, right? And so it wouldn't necessarily be differences in region per pricing, but it would be a difference in like,
train to zone.
I am not training anything to zone at the moment, but we're getting close to the zone line. So that is appropriate. I can't talk. G-Toll, thank you for 2 months. But yeah, so factions and religion, and some things like some services, like if you're unable to retrieve a corpse after a certain amount of time, then it could be that you've basically got an option to have adventurers working for a certain temple or faction recover it for you, and it's pretty costly, and that cost would definitely be part of the things. So there's some stuff like that we'll play around with. All right, let me go back up. I probably didn't answer all your questions. Please Save Quit said, from my experience in game development in large teams, the pace you guys are keeping is simply impressive. I'll be honest with you, like I said, it bothers me to know that I could probably work harder at times, especially in the first year, but that's on me. But all of that said, I'm absolutely not I'm absolutely not unhappy. Let me just say it differently. I'm happy with our pace so far. All right, so this zone line's not working. All right, so let me make a note. This is the southern side. So glass flats to dragons run south, not working. Hey Justin Beard, what's going on? Let me scroll up. Justin Beard said, main's going great, watching first stream since you moved. Congrats, dude. So I take it you got your DSL all set up, everything's ready to go. It's very exciting for you, man. Darga said, make factions a gold sink, hand someone a pile of coin, and all of a sudden they like you a lot more, just like in real life. It's true. if any of you happen to be multi-millionaires, please DM me. Can probably find a way to like you more in real life. Dargath says, regarding team's progress, I always feel like I'm seeing a ton of progress on streams. Then during a stream, I'll see a bunch of stuff they've done off stream and be even more impressed with how things are moving along. Well, thank you. Are there any limits on the character currency? Why can there not be a server limit? No. You mean the amount of currency that exists in the world? Like there's only this amount of currency on the server? But then we'd potentially run into a deflationary situation, right? Didn't that happen with New World? At the end of the day, we'd still have to balance it. Yeah, I just put on the speed gem. Let me take it off again, so like NPCs would stop dropping 1 coin if one guy has too much in his bank. Yeah, that's the question. Always been interested in wondering how much plat has disappeared from EverQuest when people just stop playing. That would be a interesting and not hard, I would assume, metric to pull. Hey, what's up, well below average? Good morning. Alright, I think this zone line's not working either. Or we would have zoned already. Need in-game wills. You die, you leave your, you stop playing for X amount of time and all your stuff goes to somebody else. And then we can charge, taking this back to the lawyer discussion, and then we can charge a shitload of gold to set up the will. Or plat. And then we can also tax... We'll tax the platinum that you inherit from the player, who we also tax to set up the will. So that'll be another sink. Dargat said taxation is theft. Yes, but we're currently trying to figure out how to thieve from you. You could always just have the gnomes be the attorneys that draw up the wills. My gnome would be a terrible attorney. Let's see, what are you guys chatting about right now? A fixed amount of currency sounds very interesting. You could have items price scale based off of the active player base. So this would make players also have to scale their prices based off of this. Could make a really cool market. I could also see us messing that up in a heartbeat. We'll have to ask Ali about that. Nick said, I guess we need a law skill and a politics skill. I'm surprised we don't already have those in. Given our list of skills. Bunny said in old school RuneScape, they currently implemented attacks on the Grand Exchange, and part of that is they actually keep track of the tax and then use that tax money to buy high-end items off the Grand Exchange and then delete them. One way to deal with mudflation. Bullet Catcher said, dwarves seem good at contracts and understanding the value of money. I could see that. I could definitely see some dwarven lawyers. There seems to be no good reason the zone line didn't work unless we ran out of zone processes. Let me see if I'm seeing anything on my end in terms of... let's see. Oh, wait. Yeah. First, let me fix music. Yes, I'm still listening. When was the last error recorded? I'm seeing nothing here in terms of errors. That would be related to this that I can tell. Oh, let's see. Nicodemus said, on the subject of in-game currency, the 1 to 10 is simplistic and easy to get behind. Games tend to create new types of currencies, crystals, bones, faction items for expansions. I've always thought that it would be better to have the same money type and have the main world be minted from the same area. New expansion, coin minted from a new area. Exchange rates could then be adjusted for new content. Just a thought. It's an interesting thought. See what happens when you don't use Notepad++. I'm gonna guess it's more what Nick said. It's probably just the server being out of processes. We don't have, so that's something we need to fix. Because that was the problem the last time, the zones weren't working. So the question is Dragon's Run up or not? Hey, what's up, Gary? What's the issue? The zone lines to Dragon's Run from Glass Flats is not working. I've just tried both zone lines, and it looks like they should be working. Nick has determined the same, but they are not. So let me zone to Dragon's Run and see if that works. Bunny, while you're gone, the boats stopped working. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, they did. They stopped working, so Ollie wants to rewrite boats. Before they stopped working, yeah, they killed Nick. Alright, so I was able to zone from Dragon's Run into Glass Flats. Now, where this put me in the zone is a whole nother question. Yeah, Dargith. I think it'll be fun to get a lot of stuff in. So Dargith said, I hope the harbor has some pathing fish and merchant boats and stuff. Love the skiffs and recent concept art. Just background stuff to make the city feel more alive. Nothing useful, functional necessarily. Yeah. We eventually want to get player boats. I know it's a... I think it was a bit of a meme in EQ or whatever, but Ollie's pretty serious about it, and it sounds like a fun idea to me. Alright, so... I'll zone the Dragon's Run and we'll see. I mean, you can 100% confirm whatever you want. We've still gotta deliver. Will there be fishing? I think there already is fishing. Version 1 of fishing is in Hell's Ridge. Will dumpster diving be a thing? Haven't put a lot of thought into it, but I could see dumpsters just being a different node type, which... Nick, did you ever get the harvesting nodes working? Nope, they're so invisible. Okay. Esan said, speaking of fishing, that is where I'm headed. Have a great rest of the stream. I love the new time. Awesome. I'm glad you like it. Good luck on your fishing. At a minimum, I hope you find it relaxing. Sounds like a good time, dude. Thanks again. The Teflon Don, 75. Thank you for the follow. Target said, I do like the idea of having more personal transportation options above and beyond mounts. Very cool. Where is the team on teleportation, magic, and other quick travel options nowadays? Well, we're going to have player-based quick travel options. So teleportations, move speed modification, but teleportations will be in. They'll be... like, you can do it now. We have the spells. But in terms of the... where you can actually get to and the overall impact on the world, I think that's a conversation that's going to be had well beyond the proof of concept. We'll have an example in for proof of concept, but we want to make sure that the world feels like stays feeling big. While also giving players, like putting that capability in the hands of the players. The rest of the travel options will primarily be the ones that are not player driven, will be things like boats or analogs, so ferries. There's actually, speaking of which, there's this would be a river of silt that would be uncrossable here. or at least via traditional mechanisms. And then there's a camp on the other side here that gets you through this red sand dune zone. It'll be NPCs that escort you on a caravan, but essentially it would be similar to the functionality of a boat. So you'll see some things like that. Caravans for certain areas, ships, ferries, potentially sky ships at a certain point. But skyships have to exist because something has to take you into space. To the moon. A space elevator? That's also feasible. Will there be cats on the moon? You never know, but probably not. There may be rabbits. Yeah, there may be rabbits. Moon rabbit. Maybe player boats are enabled after the prototype has gone gold. As a congrats for finishing the Night Harbor questline area, your player gets on a boat to explore the rest of the world to be completed when M goes live. Are you saying... Help me understand, Nicodemus. Moon Rabbit is a Chinese myth, I think. Could be interesting to pull from. I think Bunny just wants bunnies on the moon. Do we have plans for multi-purpose mounts? Yeah, I mean, we want to get pack animals in. So some of what we'll be doing in the next month or so is looking at the inventory system, inventory constraints, and then looking at how to mitigate constraints with things like pack animals and mounts. And yeah, ogres are a multi-person mount, or gnomes. You said multi-person, not multi-purpose. Shit. Multi-person, maybe. As long as we can figure out how to do it and have it not be broken beyond mounts. Yeah. But I'm assuming so. We'll see. We'll see if I post this VOD on YouTube, since I'm mainly just running around looking at some stuff today. I'll tell you what, I'll post it. If somebody doesn't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. Reduce the mount speed the more people that are on the mount. An interesting thought. Are you still alive, buddy? Man, he was so hot at the garden earlier. After he escaped. Boats may detract from the Night Harbor playing experience. All of the zones shown to us on the same continent so far. Give a player a chance to leave the playing area by boat, and they will. Missing it, the area they were to play in. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, don't worry. For proof of concept, we'll have that under control. It's interesting that that's up in the sky now. All right. You never know, the whole game might take place on one continent. You just don't know yet. We'll know when the cloth maps arrive. That's true. That is true. Alright, Fizby said, I must be off on a road trip. Enjoyed the stream and brainstorm. Toodles. Be safe on your trip. Enjoy. And we'll see you when you're safely back next time. Bunny mentioned in response to the multi-person mount and BDO, Black Desert Online, the ability to have two people on your horse is a very rare trait. I like stuff like that, right? Like being able to support it, but not just give it out straight out of gate, day one. It's one of the things that we were talking about the other night with regards to like levitate. So when I mentioned things like slowly doling out some of the abilities, it's not to like remove the abilities from the game. It's to see if we can make it more interesting as you're progressing. So like when you see somebody flying by levitating, you know they're a complete badass, right? As opposed to it just being a thing that you get fairly early on. But then you still have some increasing ability to essentially progress along. Let me restart that. You have the ability to progress along spell lines, so you have some bit of those different abilities. It's just we dole it out a little bit longer. Shadow Sworn One says, do you guys have a target year of release? You know, it's always rough trying to answer that up front and then, you know, be wrong. So our goal is to get people in playing with us this year. Our goal is to have a... I think it's fair to say our goal is to try to have proof of concept in a place where we're pretty happy with it before or by end of the year. Whether or not we hit that target, we'll see. I have no idea. It's going to be a push, but I think that it's feasible. I'm hoping that the next couple of months we'll get some of the bigger remaining system work and concept in place, and be able to also spend a fair amount of time cleaning up what we've got, because there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done, as I'm sure Nick will attest to, because I think if we haven't hit it, we're coming up on our 1000th issue in our bug database. But what I'm really hoping is, I think I mentioned earlier, as a lot of the big chunks get knocked out, it becomes more and more a question of content, which I'm familiar with the pace of content creation, given the kind of systems that we've built. We built these systems specifically with that style of content and that pace in mind. If you look at something like Wormsbane, I think Wormsbane's an interesting example because so Wormsbane's a dungeon. If you're new here, let me actually switch to here. I haven't been posting any of the links and stuff today, sorry. But you can find our website here. You can join our Discord here, and you can join our mailing list there. But anyway, the Wormsbane, if you check some of our previous VODs on YouTube, like the last one I posted, we were in there, the last couple. That dungeon, because it was something that was pretty constrained in terms of story or specific, Ham was able to sit down, sort of break out what existed in there. Pattis was able to go in about 2 days, let's say 3 days, maybe 4 days or 5 days, given the total amount of work now. Bang out a pretty acceptable dungeon. Still needs more of a prop pass. There's probably still polish that can be done. But once the dungeon's in place and we have a fairly good understanding of the themes and the characters and all that, Nick was able to go in and populate it extremely quickly, like first pass a day. Continued tweaks. I don't know, Nick, has it been more than 4 days worth of work? Just sort of tweaking and stuff like that in there? So it's really about continuing to get the big chunks online. I think zone population will move equally as fast once we're in a place where we're not running into issues like we go to place mobs and they don't appear, that kind of shit. And once we also have, I think, a bit more of the foundational lore in place. So the stuff that Hamad's working on right now is like a big list of details on factions for Night Harbor. And so once he gets that wrapped up, then we can go into specific characters for Night Harbor. That includes like class trainers and things like that. And so that'll basically give us characters to start riffing on. Nick posted a really good thread, and I thought about sort of skimming it on stream, but maybe we'll do that next stream. But Nick posted a good thread on the quests, so breakdown of quests per starting city. And it's like from EQ, and it's interesting to sort of go through that and look at the content that's something we can reference pretty easily, and has sort of the same pace that we're shooting for and level of fidelity. And it's just my belief, having worked on expansions, having worked on MMOs beyond just EQ and stuff, and looking at the differences in content and tool sets, etc., that as the big decisions are finalized, tools continue to come online or are tweaked, even though we have the tools to do, I would say, at least 60-70% of the kind of content that we'd want to make available now. They could be made more efficient, but they're functional. I think we can move pretty quickly. And so the reason why I'm mentioning all of that is it's mid-May now. Yeah. So June, July, August, September. So September we hit our 2-year mark. And then we basically got Q4 left, right? October, November, December. So, hey Ishiwatari. Is it too early for you? Basically, if we look at those, if we look at the remaining like 7 months of the year, I feel like we stand a strong chance to being in a really good place with a proof of concept, and also tech-wise, being able to have people run through our full game entry pipeline. So registration, installer, patcher, login, all of that stuff. So how are you guys going to prevent third-party programs from botting? So fundamentally, I think that's something. Hit us up in Discord, and Ollie can probably chime in a little bit better on that front. So if you're not aware, Ollie's heading things up on the tech side. So we've got Ollie, Gary, and John who will be speaking on the tech side. Depending on the nature of the botting, I think the answer will vary. Had some interesting situations on different games I've worked on in the past with regards to botting. So some of what we may wind up doing will be, people will be made aware of it as they're encountering it. Alright, so this zone line doesn't work either. Let's go see. Sorry if I'm not giving you a very good answer, but that happens from time to time. If you hit us up in Discord, then sometimes you can get a better answer than what I'm giving you. Don't let any of my shitty answers ever be a poor reflection on the game team itself. I am merely a quasi-front person. Death Valley. Yeah, it should be working. I don't know what's going on here. You're just back from work. Ishiwatari. You worked a night shift? He's the good-looking spokesperson. Thank you, T-Con. You've earned points with me. Will other races' cities be on a similar scale to Night Harbor, or is it an exception? We're using Night Harbor to determine that, Dargath. We would like other cities to be on a similar scale as Night Harbor, but we've still got to actually build Night Harbor and see. Night shift, you're in the same time zone as... Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry about that. I'm just picturing morning for chat. For some reason, I thought you were my German-speaking friend in America. Entschuldigung, Ishiwatari, meine Schuld. Ich hat vergessen? I'm not sure if that was correct. Datum says, here's some EVE Online perspective. In that game, everything needs basic materials to be made, and so there's always it's always decently valuable. In terms of inflation on things like gear, that mostly has to do with the market being so small that it's easy for one or a few players to corner, and less about the amount of currency floating around. Alright, fair. Alles gut, kein Problem. Vielen Dank. Buzzridge asked, where is it? I see Bunny responding to it. Oh, is Night Harbor home to a specific race or a more neutral place that all races congregate? I'd say first and foremost it's human. For proof of concept, we're doing it a lot more neutral than it may ultimately wind up being. We were talking about that the other day. At the end of the day, Night Harbor really should have its own feel, and it's primarily a human city with some interesting types of humans that are in there. You'll learn more about that once you're in. And we wanted to really nail this feel, right? Like, we were talking about that over the weekend and into last week and stuff as well. We wanted to have its own really distinct identity. We don't want it to just be a conglomeration of all of the races and stuff. For proof of concept, it works out well that Night Harbor is a fairly cosmopolitan city. But again, we want it to feel like the human city, and you'll see the predominance of the Bahara faction. So they're a seafaring people. and you'll see the Langsdorfian League, which is this massive, near omnipotent trade guild. And so the Langsdorfian League are extremely powerful. And this city is it's a combination of those factions. They've got a bit of a, what's the right word? There's a tension there, but there's a tension, but each faction's got its underlying goals, and they realize that they've got to get along and build up and maintain this city for the time being, in order to accomplish their discrete individual factional goals. If we find that building the city in this manner so that there's a lot of depth, there's dungeons that you'll discover within the city, there are encounter areas within the city, solidarity of convenience, August Burn Phil, that'll work. All right, so this online's not working. Let's zone to Death Valley. Let's see what happens if I even get in. Yep, there we go. Am I in? So that's there. Where am I? Yes, Bunny provided the correct spelling for Bahara. Night Harbor isn't friendly to mandrakes though. Any errors on the console? No errors on the server side. Enter zone. Let's see. So you don't see anything, Gary? Let me look at the client. I guess I can kill it and then log back in and see what happens. Log in. Connect. Where is this cool music from? This is our music, Kenji. Speaking of, I'll have to catch up on Discord later. Do we have the OST up somewhere? We do. We've got it. If you go to our YouTube, we've got it all linked into a playlist there. Bitteschön. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Let me make a new character and see if I can zone into Death Valley. Nick just linked the playlist, I think. Would it be okay to use your tracks for things like YouTube videos with attribution? Absolutely. Oh god, if you guys weren't here earlier, the abomination. Invuln GM on Invuln /zone Death Valley. Well, all right. Adam said, I think this music would be a good alternate for some Path of Exile videos I'd like to make. As long as you're sending people back to us. Major Twin Peaks vibes on some of the Eminem tracks. So this song was actually heavily inspired. You've got a good ear. Well, and by heavily inspired, it was part of the conversation of like, what would be a cool inspiration for a dungeon that is both meant to be scary and mysterious, but also a bit, yeah, the origins of the dungeon. Like, there's a bunch of undead in there. Those undead were probably people at some point. So why are they in there? Did they meet an untimely demise? I'm not getting zone connection requests back from the client after zoning to Death Valley. Interesting. I'm suspicious something is happening on the client. Is there anywhere that I could look for you to provide additional info, Gary? I mean, other than this, there are no audio listeners in the scene. Please ensure there is always one audio listener in the scene. Messages that are piling up right now. Let me, before I do anything, pull again and see what's changed. Is the Wormsbane lore something you'll learn while adventuring in the dungeon itself, or is it likely to be more exposition from Questgiver sending you there? I think you'll get a mix of both. Looking at things that have been updated. All right. Gnome. Necromancer. Zone. Shaded dunes. On. See if that works. Yeah, Nicodemus, I swear I've seen that error before without running into a similar problem. So we'll see. So I was able to zone here. Oh wait, I wonder, is that going to be there then when I cast? I'll cast in a second and see. Yeah, let me move that back down. Cool. Missing a reagent. Do you plan on having a scribe delay when writing new spells into the spellbook in addition to mem time putting them on the ability bar? I have not thought about it, but for whatever reason, every time I scribe a new ability, I think I wondered the same thing. Like, oh, that was fast. I like the new targeting a ton better. A million times better. Alright. Bone chip. Why'd that minimize? Oh, nice new error. Oh, alright. There you go, Hell's Ridge. Nick was on it instantly. Summon a pet. Oh, we'll have to have like a spell effect on the pet as well when it first gets summoned. Wonder if that's doable. I have 1 silver piece, and that's enough to buy a torch. Alright, we're in business. Pet attack. Life drain. I'm so happy to see the pet unit frame there. And does the mob's name change color when targeted? It seems more noticeable than before. Yeah, it does. Yep, team was working on that over the weekend. So you'll see from blue to yellow. And then attack. Gary said, I'm able to zone into Death Valley. It looks like there's an issue with zone on location though, as I spawned under the terrain. Okay, I'm not shocked about that. Part of what I'm trying to do is basically go through all the zones and get all that stuff fixed and then update it on the server. Nick said, untargeted name tag is close to the old targeted color. So look here. Oh, he's got a weapon. Targeted. Attack. Dab. Cloth mantle, one chip, and a spear. Solid haul. Yeah, so that was 2 characters I couldn't zone into Death Valley on, which is weird. We'll have to follow up on that. There's a lot of following up that needs to happen. Basically, when I get done here in a little bit, I need to run to the store, grab dinner, see how bright the names look at night. That's the only concern. At a distance. Alright, so we got Sphere of Influence turning them. Oh, see all the names feeling bright light. Sorry. I'm really bad about not reading the whole message. Yeah. Didn't you suggest... changing the name color based on time of day? Or light conditions? Neck... I guess I just need to say, there's no easy way to abbreviate it. Nick Intros, I think it'll just really come down to how much time we have on our hands. I think Ollie has mentioned in the past wanting to provide that sort of option, and we've talked about it being fun. It's just where it lies on the sort of the priority. Yeah. To me, it's hard to read. Like, especially right here. What about predefined and suffix character of some kind, going from a skeleton to a skeleton with like the pointy things over the names and stuff? I'm not a big fan of. Like basically adding additional sort of iconography to show targeting. Ooh, targeted, it's even harder. Make sure you're thinking about accessibility with conveying information via color. I guess with something like this and other UI elements, we can do a pass that's going to be a switch for people that are colorblind. We tend to design for the majority case, and then we can figure out the rest. But I'd like to get I'd like to get the majority case working well first. Yeah, that's almost invisible. Josh Ball, thank you for the follow. So it's great at night. Love it at night. Love it in dungeons. Here it's basically unreadable. Organic cacao. Yeah. In your experience, it's a lot cheaper in the long run to consider accessibility in your UX from the beginning rather than after. Yeah, I'm not saying after, but I'd like to figure out what our base case is. And if we find that the primary means of making something highly accessible is to put a bunch of iconography on it, then we may not be as accessible as some people would like. Well, we'll have to keep playing with it. Nice in dungeons, readable at night, falls apart during the daytime. In this approach, the model is a clue to what it is. Still, though, names over the head is very retro. Yeah. I personally just like seeing the names over the heads. That said, having a bunch of information on the names, or honestly, much information beyond the names, it kind of turns me off. Would you ever consider nameplate color, targeted color, something players can set, like changing chat colors? Yeah, I think so. I mean, stuff like that if people want to customize their client in that way, go ahead. And then we can also pull that data over time, potentially, I don't know. We'd have to look at how that data is ascertained and stored, especially if we're maintaining compliance with GDPR. But basically, aggregate that information and see if there are potential trends that reveal something that we could be doing better. Can you get a trigger warning? GDPR's trigger work for you? No. No trigger warnings here, I'm sorry. The only warning that I think we'll provide, and I almost provided this earlier, but seem like overkill. The only warning that we can provide regarding triggers is if people get triggered, then they should take a break, because when people, if people spend too much time being triggered on our Discord, for example, it will be trying to trigger people is a bannable offense. Being triggered is also potentially a bannable offense. Everybody needs to just calm down. I know you're kidding. I'm kidding as well. I'm not really kidding about that last part. If you feel like an experiment, you could try deleting Crestview from Death Valley scene and see if you can zone in. Interesting. Let's try that experiment. Bunny said, I'm so very tired of specific conversations in Discord. Well, then don't read them. That's the easiest. See? That's the way that you can solve your problems, people. I'm feeling very uncomfortable with a thing. Okay, well, avoid thing. What am I doing? Death Valley. Josh Ball said that's how Facebook got for me. Too much BS, so I just deleted it and was instant life upgrade. Yeah, I use it to talk to my parents. Apparently, it's a good place for us to find people that are interested in our game. Like our boost from the P99 Facebook post, I have to guess. Maybe it's all organic. It's kind of hard to tell with the metrics that we have. But we've had a really nice growth and engagement on the website. Let's see. I can find it here. I need to plug in my phone before I run out to do errands today. Damn thing is almost... It's almost out of batteries. Let's see. Yeah, so we've seen a steady growth in people engaging with the website, like unique visitors. And we're now a good bit past all of 2021's unique visitors for our website as of this month, but like we doubled the number of uniques this month alone, and we're only 15 days in. So let me, oops, not delete the name, just delete the asset. Cool. And then go to zone. Go ahead and save. We can revert. But yeah, I realized from Facebook that most of the people I know on Facebook aren't really friends. They're just people I've worked with or run into over the last decade or whatever it's been. I just didn't want to hear anything they had to say. So while I do like, and I think it'd be worthwhile to engage more with our M&M Facebook page, and it's nice to be able to chat with my mom and dad since that's all they know. The rest of it can... I don't want to hear it. Let's see. I guess I could have just tried to log in one of the characters that's already there. Keith, ask Bunny which topics she's heard a million times. Don't do that. Don't. You're encouraging her. Don't do that. Playable mandrakes, probably. Don't start. Bubonic Blade said, you've turned into my new Bob Ross. Just turn you on my side screen and let go. Your voice is soothing as his. Put a happy little tree in a game. We've got happy little trees. I'll show you in a minute. You'll have to tab back over and see it. Bunny said, anyways, I think changing the name text based on day-night could run into problems as well, because then there's still problems with different environments. Yeah, it's fair. So we'll keep working on it. Clearly, solution is not found. There's got to be a solution that's not garbage. But to me, the more shit we put up over a character's head, the more I hate it. No offense to anybody that made suggestions, not trying to shit on your suggestions, it's just every once in a while I'll look at some other games' way of handling it, I just don't like it. But we'll see where we land. That's why we are doing this, so that we can figure stuff out early and often. Let me zone, night, no, zone. Well, yeah, because this character may disappear forever. So, no, not Night Harbor. Bubonic Blade, I'll show you a happy little tree, and then we'll zone into Oblivion. Zone into the Abyss. Feel free to shit on your suggestions, no offense taken. Well, I don't want to shit on anything. You guys may not believe this. I'm not into shitting on stuff. I appreciate the fact that you guys are willing to give suggestions and stuff. I'm very rarely mean. Hell, I'm even mean when people show up in chat with, like, you know, obvious names like D's Nuts or whatever, and you know, I go along with it. There are very rare instances where I've got to basically remind people that that we're not going to tolerate certain things. And even then, you usually get a warning first. Yeah, so here are happy little trees, Bubonic. Look now. Tab over now. Trees experiments that we've been doing. Happy little shade. And a happy little crash. I think, all right, so the music pausing was just YouTube asking me if I'm still there. It just happened to coincide with this freezing up. And sometimes I may, like, my mouth just responds before my brain. And so I don't want to come off as being dismissive of anything that you're saying, but I know sometimes it may sound like that. It's like, nope, I don't like that. This thing will bother me. I don't. But that's also, I think that's a, you know, that's one of the byproducts / dangers of streaming in this manner. But we'll see what happens. Can you actually read this? Yeah, if you zoom in, you can read it. Sorry about that, programmers. I just pasted that big ass thing instead of just getting the text and checking out. Let me log in one more time, and then see if I can zone. All right, let's go back in. Yeah, sorry, I was not focusing on making it readable for you guys. I'm just gonna paste it over into Slack. The game has eaten 3 of my tunes today. I think it's a me problem. It's a me problem. It's not how it's... No, it's not. It's not. Okay, good. You're getting the same thing last night? Alright. Programmers! It's so easy at this stage to blame programmers. I'm sure it's not content. Okay. Can't live with them, can't live without them. Yes. Oh man. Also, why would you want to? Why would you want to live without them? They're wonderful. Gary, if you're listening. Ollie, I know you're not listening, so we can pick on you. Yeah, let's blame Ollie. He's not here to defend himself. Good plan, Nick. No one's gonna tell him. All right, so let me sort of wrap up for today. So new time, I'm thinking of starting 1 hour later. So that would basically go from what we started today, in theory, if I started on time, to 1 hour later, I guess. Like I said, I think that would be, instead of 8 a.m. Eastern, it'd be 9 a.m. Eastern. Make it a little bit better for folks on the West Coast. It'll make my day a little bit... give me a little bit more time during the day. That said, it's kind of nice, the idea of getting done and having an hour and a half before Jasmine gets home. It's kind of nice. Like today, I need to get off here and go shop and then throw some dinner together and see what's up. Either way, it'll be 8 or 9, depending on the day or depending how we go. I'll update the schedule thing, but count on 9 a.m. Eastern for Thursday. We'll do that then. I need to get caught up on Discord. This morning was kind of my first real exposure to Discord because it was just a crazy weekend for me. Yeah, no playable Mandrake today, Keith. Just keep asking every single day. And we'll make sure that Bunny checks on your messages on that. Used to have an error routine that checked error codes and threw meaningful exceptions. If it had no match, an error message would read blame and notify Nicodemus. He did not foresee this error. We should probably have Gary put that in, but only have it blame Ollie instead, which would be even better. I think that type of code, blaming someone else, is even better. That's how we create a healthy team environment. We don't even need an algorithm to do it. Blizzard. So, let's see. I will be back on Thursday. I'll catch up on Discord. I posted a message earlier. You need to have a thick skin as a programmer. I don't think that all programmers I've worked with have been given that message. But our programmers do have thick skins. They're wonderful. Because they're mandrakes. Let's see. I'll be back on Thursday. I'll catch up on Discord a little bit. I posted a comment earlier today on Discord in response to some nonsense. I'll catch up on it, but hopefully I'm cool with people being like, hey, we support you guys and all that kind of stuff. That's great. I don't want anybody to pick on any individuals. Like if I ever wake up in the morning and get a message from Ollie that's like, hey, look at this message. and then I respond to it as I'm drinking my first coffee of the day, and it never comes off harsh or whatever. That just kind of is what it is. But people should not pile on or pick on anybody. And let's see. Yeah, and then I think the rest of the time I just need to get caught up in Slack. There's a lot of team stuff going on. It sounded like, or maybe I'm just wrong, but it looked like there are notifications popping up. So, and then I will try to be on time on Thursday. I'll probably post this video. I think I said throughout it that I won't post it because it wasn't like a super productive video from my end, other than running around and seeing what shit's working and not. But if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you, especially if you're watching at this stage. That means you watched the whole thing, which is really nice of you. Hopefully you've subscribed and clicked like, comment below. Because believe it or not, we do read those comments and respond to almost every one of them, unless it's just bullshit. All right, I'm out of here for today. Thanks for hanging out. If you are new to the stream, Nick Intros, welcome, and you're very welcome. We definitely try to answer your questions. Sometimes we don't have the best answers, or sometimes I don't have the best answers, but that's why we have a team, so I can point you to our Discord and ask those guys. If you're interested, I'll probably continue to post pictures of my garden and stuff in my Discord. It's separate from the M&M Discord, so I don't clutter the M&M Discord with my bullshit. August Burns Phil, have a great one. BDC Retro, see you and bye-bye. Rev Chumley, you're very welcome. See you soon. Nicodemus, Keith, see you guys on Thursday. Chrono Zero, you're welcome. Yeah, have a good day, everybody, as Nick said. Be sure to keep an eye out for the other people on the team that stream. They're often way more productive than I am. So, and check the VODs on their stuff as well. That's also up on YouTube. But we got Nick, Pattis, Goblin, and Zukin up there. Ishwatari, Bispald, thanks for popping in. Yeah, so anyways, see you guys on Thursday. Thanks again for being here.